Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about fault code P0518, error control circuit inactive intermittent. This is a fairly common code that can be caused by a few different things. In this video, I'm going to go over the most common causes of this code and how to diagnose and fix it. I'll also be providing some tips on how to prevent this code from coming back in the future. So, if you're experiencing this code, or you're just curious about what it means, be sure to check out this video. The P0518 code indicates a malfunction in the air control circuit of your vehicle. This circuit is responsible for controlling the amount of air that enters the engine, which is crucial for maintaining optimal performance and fuel efficiency. When the P0518 code is triggered, it means that the powertrain control module, PCM, has detected an issue with the air control circuit. This could be due to a variety of factors, including a faulty sensor, a damaged wire, or a problem with the throttle body itself. Several potential causes can lead to the P0518 code. Some of the most common include faulty throttle position sensor, TPS. The TPS is responsible for monitoring the position of the throttle pedal and sending this information to the PCM. If the TPS is faulty, it can send incorrect signals to the PCM, causing the air control circuit to malfunction. Damaged wiring. The wiring harness that connects the TPS and other components of the air control circuit to the PCM can become damaged or corroded over time. This can prevent the PCM from receiving accurate information about the air control system. Throttle body problems. The throttle body is a valve that controls the amount of air that enters the engine. If the throttle body is dirty, stuck, or damaged, it can cause the P0518 code to be triggered. Vacuum leaks. A vacuum leak can also cause the P0518 code. This is because a vacuum leak can cause the engine to run lean, which can lead to the PCM detecting an issue with the air control circuit. The symptoms of the P0518 code can vary depending on the underlying cause. However, some of the most common symptoms include check engine light illumination. This is the most common symptom of the P0518 code. Rough idle. The engine may idle rough or stall when the P0518 code is present. Hesitation or surging during acceleration. The engine may hesitate or surge during acceleration if the air control circuit is malfunctioning. Reduced fuel economy. The P0518 code can also lead to reduced fuel economy. Diagnosing the P0518 code can be challenging, as it can be caused by several different factors. However, there are a few steps you can take to diagnose the problem. Check the engine codes. The first step is to check the engine codes using an OBD2 scanner. This will give you a more specific idea of what the problem is. Inspect the wiring harness. Inspect the wiring harness for any signs of damage or corrosion. If you find any damaged wires, you will need to repair or replace them. Check the throttle position sensor. The next step is to check the throttle position sensor. You can do this by using a multimeter to measure the voltage of the sensor. If the voltage is not within the specified range, you will need to replace the sensor. Inspect the throttle body. Finally, you should inspect the throttle body for any signs of dirt, debris, or damage. If the throttle body is dirty, you can clean it with a throttle body cleaner. If the throttle body is damaged, you will need to replace it. The repair for the P0518 code will depend on the underlying cause of the problem. However, some of the most common repairs include replacing the throttle position sensor. If the TPS is faulty, it will need to be replaced. Repairing or replacing the wiring harness. If the wiring harness is damaged, it will need to be repaired or replaced. Cleaning or replacing the throttle body. If the throttle body is dirty, it can be cleaned with a throttle body cleaner. If the throttle body is damaged, it will need to be replaced. Fixing any vacuum leaks. If there are any vacuum leaks, they will need to be repaired. The P0518 code can be a frustrating problem to deal with, but it is important to diagnose and repair it as soon as possible. By following the steps outlined above, you can diagnose the problem and get your vehicle back on the road in no time. The P0518 code can cause a variety of symptoms, including stalling. The engine may stall while idling or driving. Rough idle. The engine may idle rough or erratically. Hesitation. The engine may hesitate or stumble when accelerating. Loss of power. The engine may lose power, especially at higher speeds. Check engine light. The check engine light will illuminate on the dashboard. To diagnose the P0518 code, a mechanic will typically perform the following steps. Read the trouble codes. The mechanic will use a scan tool to read the trouble codes stored in the vehicle's computer. Inspect the air intake system. The mechanic will inspect the air intake system for any leaks or damage. Check the throttle body. The mechanic will check the throttle body for proper operation. Test the throttle position sensor. The mechanic will test the throttle position sensor to ensure it is sending the correct signal to the engine control unit, ECU. Inspect the wiring and connectors. The mechanic will inspect the wiring and connectors for any damage or corrosion. Some common errors that can be made when diagnosing the P0518 code include, not checking all of the possible causes. The mechanic may only check the most common causes of the code, such as a dirty throttle body, and not check for other possible causes, such as a faulty throttle position sensor. Not using the correct diagnostic tools. The mechanic may not use the correct diagnostic tools to diagnose the code, such as a scan tool that can read live data from the engine control unit. Not following the correct diagnostic procedures. The mechanic may not follow the correct diagnostic procedures, such as not performing a thorough inspection of the air intake system. The P0518 code is a relatively serious code that can cause the engine to stall or lose power. If you are experiencing any of the symptoms of the P0518 code, it is important to have the code diagnosed and repaired as soon as possible. The repairs that can fix the P0518 code will vary depending on the underlying cause of the code. Some common repairs include cleaning the throttle body. The throttle body can become dirty over time, which can cause the code to be set. Cleaning the throttle body will often resolve the code. Replacing the throttle position sensor. The throttle position sensor can fail, which can cause the code to be set. Replacing the throttle position sensor will often resolve the code. Repairing the wiring or connectors. The wiring or connectors to the throttle body or throttle position sensor can become damaged or corroded, which can cause the code to be set. Repairing the wiring or connectors will often resolve the code. Replacing the air intake system. If the air intake system is damaged or leaking, it can cause the code to be set. Replacing the air intake system will often resolve the code. If you are experiencing the P0518 code, it is important to have the code diagnosed and repaired by a qualified mechanic.